There is a special kind of man in this world. You've seen him. Maybe you've been around him without fully understanding what it was about him that made people stop and pay attention. It wasn't just his clothes. It wasn't his smile. It wasn't the car he drove or the money in his pocket. It was something deeper, something that most men don't even realize they can have. And here's what makes this interesting. That man might be you. Right now, already, without you even knowing it. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share today is going to change how you see yourself. Before we go any further, if you've been watching these videos and you haven't subscribed yet, I want to ask you to do that right now. We are getting close to 10,000 subscribers. And every single person who joins this community helps us reach more men who are looking for real answers. Not tricks, not tactics. Real answers about confidence, attraction, and becoming the version of yourself you actually respect. So if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. Then let's get into this. Here's something most men get completely wrong. They think that being attractive means putting everyone else first, copying what works for other guys, pretending to be someone they're not. You've probably seen it. A man watches another guy get great results and tries to do exactly what he did. Same approach, same words, same energy, and it doesn't work because he's missing the one thing that actually creates attraction. And that one thing is not a technique, it's not a line, it's not a look. We're going to spend today talking about exactly what it is. I want to plant something in your mind before we go deeper. Personal growth and becoming genuinely attractive is not like flipping a switch. It's like climbing a flight of stairs. You don't jump from the bottom to the top. You go one step at a time. And each step we talk about today builds on the last one. But here's what I want you to hold on to. There's a moment coming in this video where something shifts, where the conversation stops being about attraction and starts being about something much more important. Most men who watch this say that's the part that actually changed something for them. Keep going. To do well in the world of dating and genuine connection, that you have to understand who you really are. You need to know what you want and what you don't want. But the most important part, the part that everything else depends on, is knowing your own value. And here's where most men get lost. A lot of guys think their value comes from the things they own, the money in their bank account, the car they drive, the person they're with. And while those things can feel good for a while, your true value is something only you can give yourself. If you don't see it, you will spend your whole life trying to get other people to tell you that you're okay. You'll find yourself looking for approval from people you haven't even decided if you like yet. That is the trap. And it is exactly why so many men struggle with attraction. Not because they aren't enough, but because they keep waiting for someone else to confirm that they are. Here's something I want you to really sit with. Every person you meet, every date you go on, is like a mirror. They are showing you exactly how you feel about yourself. The people you bring into your life are often a reflection of what you believe you deserve deep down. That's not a comfortable thing to hear. But it's one of the most important things a man can understand. And we're going to talk about what to do about it. Because understanding the mirror is only the first step. What comes after it is what actually changes your life. Stay with me. Think about this for a moment. If you don't value yourself, you might keep attracting people who don't see your worth either. Not because of bad luck, but because your internal programming is pulling in results that match what you believe you deserve. When you walk into a room believing you belong there, people feel that. When you walk in feeling like you're not quite good enough, people feel that too. This is why copying what works for other men almost never works. It's not about the specific tactics. It's not about the lines or the way someone dresses. It's about the belief system underneath all of it. The foundation that creates genuine attraction before a single word is spoken. Attraction has many layers. It is not a switch that is either on or off. You could be the most handsome man in the room, but if you don't have a clear direction in life, if you don't have something you're building toward, that emptiness is felt by everyone around you. A man could be a 10 out of 10 on the outside, but if there's nothing going on under the surface, the attraction disappears. There's no staying power without substance. Real substance, but the kind that makes a man genuinely magnetic, shows up in places most people never think to look. It shows up in how he treats the waiter at a restaurant, how he treats himself when no one is watching, how he shows up when nothing is at stake and no one is keeping score. That's what we're getting into next. And it's the part that separates the men women find interesting for a moment from the men women find hard to forget. But first, if you're getting value from this, hit subscribe right now. We're almost at 10,000 and I want you to be part of what we're building here. Every subscriber matters. Now let's keep going. A man who knows who he is won't be shaken if someone doesn't see his value. He stays grounded even when someone isn't interested in him. He doesn't crumble. He doesn't question his worth based on one person's reaction. That kind of grounded confidence is deeply attractive because it shows that his sense of self is not dependent on what anyone else thinks of him. He knows what he wants, he goes after it, not from desperation, not from neediness, from genuine belief that he is worthy of good things. Think about what that looks like in a real moment. A man sees a woman he thinks is wonderful because he sees value in himself. He's able to see the value in her too. He walks over, not because he needs her to like him, because he wants to keep being the kind of man who takes action on what matters to him. And let's say she says no, she's not available, she has a reason she can't give him her number. A man who knows his worth doesn't take that personally. He doesn't feel like he failed. He doesn't feel like something is wrong with him. He can actually be kind, thank her for her time, and walk away feeling good because he showed up. He moved. He acted like the man he's choosing to be. That is the power of taking action from a place of self-worth. And this brings us to something that most men understand intellectually, but very few actually do. Because information without action is just noise. You can watch every video, read every book, listen to every conversation about confidence and attraction. But if you don't actually move, nothing in your life changes. And what it looks like when a man actually moves and when he puts real effort into who he's becoming is something we need to talk about directly. Because this is where average men and genuinely magnetic men split apart. Men who are truly attractive aren't afraid to work on who they are. They use their time, their energy, and yes, even their money to make real changes, not for other people, for themselves. It takes real effort to go to the gym when you're tired, to leave the house when it would be easier to stay in, to do the things that make you a little uncomfortable, because you care about the one life and the one body you have. Imagine a man who says he wants a healthy, loving relationship, but spends every evening on the couch not investing in himself. His lifestyle tells a story, and women can feel that story long before he says a word. You can't fake real attraction. A man who is truly magnetic builds himself from a strong base. He doesn't tear himself down. He doesn't make excuses for why he can't improve. He makes a commitment to himself, and he follows through on it. Day after day, week after week, not because someone is watching, because he decided he was worth that commitment. There's a difference that completely changes how a woman experiences you. And most men confuse these two things their entire lives. The difference between showing a woman you care and being desperate for her to like you. One of those pulls her in, one of those pushes her away, and the line between them is thinner than most men think. We're getting into that right now. When you feel genuinely secure in yourself, you don't come across as desperate. Even when you're deeply interested in someone, a strong man can show a woman he's interested. He can be warm, present, and engaged. But if she doesn't give that energy back, he's okay with that. He is willing to walk away, not with anger, not with resentment, with clarity. He doesn't want to be around people who don't want to be around him. It really is that simple. And when things don't go his way, he doesn't shrink. He sees it as information, a signal about where he should actually be putting his energy, what he actually wants, who he actually wants to be with. He doesn't let one person's response make him feel small. He understands that rejection isn't personal, it's just alignment, or the lack of it. And he's okay with that because he knows there is more room now for what actually fits. A man who looks at his own fears with curiosity instead of shame. That is a rare man. Instead of being upset that he feels nervous, he asks himself why. He tries to understand his own mind so he can rewrite the stories that were slowing him down. When a woman is around a man like that, she feels something she can't always name. She feels safe, she feels steady, she feels like she is with someone who actually knows himself. And that feeling, in a world full of men performing and pretending, that is one of the rarest things she will ever encounter. So here is the truth I want you to carry out of this video. The biggest difference between an average man and a dangerously attractive man is not looks. It is not money. It is not some secret technique. It is this. The magnetic man knows who he is. He puts real effort into every part of his life, and he is not afraid to go after what he wants. That is the kind of man people remember. That is the energy that draws people in without him having to try. That is the kind of man, when a woman meets him, she sees someone strong and kind and real. And that combination is very, very hard to walk away from. The most important thing I want you to hear today is this. You might already be that man. You might already have this inside you. And the only thing standing between you and the life you want is whether you decide to show up for yourself the way you deserve. That decision starts right now. If this video helped you, like it, share it, and subscribe. We are almost at 10,000 subscribers, and I want you there with us. I put out these conversations every week for men who are ready to stop waiting and start building. I'll see you in the next one.